Hey there, internet denizens, ever heard of blockchain? It's supposed to be this revolutionary technology, like the internet, but more. Some say it'll change the world, others say it's just a fad. So what's the deal with blockchain? Is it the future or just a bunch of hype? Buckle up, Buttercup, because we're diving headfirst into the wacky world of blockchain. First things first, let's clear up one thing. Blockchain is not Bitcoin. It's like saying the internet is just email. Sure, email uses the internet, but the internet is so much bigger than that. Same goes for blockchain. Bitcoin was the first big application of blockchain technology, but it's just the tip of the iceberg. This technology is all about decentralization. It's like taking power from the big guys and giving it back to the people. Think of it as the digital equivalent of a grassroots movement, but instead of pitchforks and torches, we've got cryptography and consensus algorithms. Sounds complicated? Don't worry, we'll break it down for you. Okay, let's talk Bitcoin. It's a digital currency, kind of like a digital dollar or euro. But here's the catch. There's no central bank controlling it, no Federal Reserve, no Bank of England, no shady government officials manipulating it for their own gain. It's completely decentralized, run by a network of computers all over the world. This means you can send Bitcoin to anyone, anywhere in the world, without needing permission from anyone. No more banks charging you ridiculous fees for international transfers. No more governments freezing your assets because they don't like your face. It's financial freedom, baby. But Bitcoin is just one example. Blockchain technology can be used for so much more than just digital currencies. We're talking about revolutionizing everything from supply chains to voting systems. It's about creating a more transparent, secure, and democratic world. Now let's get down to the nitty-gritty. What exactly is a blockchain? Imagine a giant digital ledger that keeps track of every single transaction ever made. This ledger is not stored in one place, but on thousands of computers around the world. That's what makes it decentralized. Every time a transaction is made, it's grouped together with other transactions into a block. This block is then added to the blockchain, which is like adding a new page to the ledger. Once a block is added to the blockchain, it cannot be changed or deleted. It's there forever, like a digital tattoo of every transaction ever made. This makes blockchain incredibly secure. To hack it, you'd have to hack into thousands of computers simultaneously, which is about as likely as winning the lottery while being struck by lightning twice. To understand why blockchain is such a big deal, we need to talk about the problems with centralized systems. Think about our current financial system. Your money is controlled by banks, which are controlled by governments. They have all the power, and they can do whatever they want with your money. Remember the 2008 financial crisis? That was caused by banks making risky bets with people's money. And who bailed them out? The taxpayers, of course. Centralized systems are prone to corruption, manipulation, and single points of failure. It's not just about money either. Think about voting records. They're often stored in centralized databases, making them vulnerable to hacking and manipulation. We've all heard the stories about rigged elections and voter fraud. Centralized systems are simply not secure enough for something as important as democracy. Section 5, Decentralization. Bitcoin shows the way. This is where decentralization comes in. By distributing power across a network, blockchain eliminates the need for a central authority. It's like the difference between a dictatorship and a democracy. In a dictatorship, one person has all the power. In a democracy, power is shared among the people. Bitcoin is a perfect example of decentralization in action. No one person or entity controls Bitcoin. It's controlled by the network, by the people. This makes it incredibly resilient to censorship and manipulation. Governments can't shut it down, banks can't control it, and hackers can't steal it. And it's not just Bitcoin. Blockchain can be used to decentralize all sorts of things, from voting systems to supply chains. Imagine a world where we don't have to trust big corporations or corrupt governments with our data and our money. That's the promise of blockchain. Section 6, how blockchain works. A simple breakdown. Okay, so we've talked about decentralization and how awesome it is. But how does blockchain actually work? Let's break it down. 1. Transactions. Someone requests a transaction like sending Bitcoin to a friend. 2. Verification. This transaction is broadcast to the network of computers. 3. Validation. These computers, called nodes, verify the transaction and the user's status using cryptography. 4. Block creation. The verified transaction is added to a block with other transactions. 5. Hashing. Each block is given a unique code called a hash, linking it to the previous block. 6. Blockchain addition. The block is added to the blockchain and broadcast across the network. 7. Immutability. The transaction is now permanently recorded on the blockchain, viewable by everyone. That's it. It's like a digital game of telephone, but instead of whispering secrets, we're verifying transactions and building an immutable record of everything. Section 7. The building blocks of blockchain. Now, let's talk about the core elements that make blockchain tick. Peer-to-peer network. Blockchain operates on a network of computers that are all equal. There's no central server, which makes it incredibly resilient to attacks. Cryptography. This is the magic sauce that keeps everything secure. Cryptography ensures that only the rightful owner can access their data and that transactions are tamper-proof. Consensus algorithms. These are the rules that govern how the network agrees on which transactions are valid. It's like a digital democracy where everyone gets a vote. Incentives. To encourage people to participate in the network, most blockchains offer incentives like Bitcoin mining rewards. It's like getting paid to be a good digital citizen. These 4 elements work together to create a secure, transparent, and tamper-proof system that has the potential to revolutionize the world as we know it. Section 8. Market adoption, the key to success. But here's the thing about blockchain. It's only as good as the people who use it. For blockchain to truly reach its potential, it needs mass adoption. We need businesses, governments, and individuals to embrace this technology and start using it in their everyday lives. Think about the early days of the internet. It wasn't until people started using email, browsing the web, and buying things online that the internet truly took off. The same goes for blockchain. We need more people to start using blockchain-based applications, from digital currencies to supply chain management systems. The good news is that adoption is growing. More and more companies are experimenting with blockchain, and governments are starting to explore its potential. But we're still in the early days. It's up to all of us to spread the word and encourage wider adoption of this transformative technology. Section 9, public versus private blockchains. What's the difference? Now, let's talk about the different types of blockchains. There are 2 main types, public and private. Public blockchains like Bitcoin are open to anyone. Anyone can join the network, view the transaction history, and participate in the consensus process. Private blockchains, on the other hand, are permissioned. They're controlled by a single entity, like a company or a government. Only authorized users can access the network and participate in the consensus process. Both types of blockchains have their pros and cons. Public blockchains are more secure and transparent, but they can be slower and more expensive to use. Private blockchains are faster and cheaper, but they're not as secure or transparent. Section 10, the future of blockchain, a world of possibilities. So, what does the future hold for blockchain? It's hard to say for sure, but one thing's for certain: this technology has the potential to change the world in profound ways. Imagine a world where we can vote online securely and transparently, a world where supply chains are trackable and transparent, reducing fraud and waste, a world where we have more control over our data and our identities. These are just a few of the possibilities that blockchain unlocks. Of course, there are challenges to overcome. Scalability, regulation, and public perception are just a few of the hurdles that blockchain needs to overcome to reach its full potential. But the future is bright for this transformative technology. Section 11. Blockchain, a solution to centralization woes. In conclusion, blockchain is more than just a buzzword. It's a fundamental shift in how we think about trust, security, and decentralization. It's a solution to the many problems that plague our centralized systems, from financial institutions to voting systems. By distributing power and control, blockchain empowers individuals and creates a more equitable and democratic world. It's a technology that has the potential to revolutionize countless industries and aspects of our lives. Section 12. Blockchain, think for yourself. But don't just take our word for it. Do your own research, ask questions, and form your own opinions. The world of blockchain is complex and constantly evolving. It's up to all of us to stay informed and engaged as this technology continues to shape our future. So there you have it, folks. Blockchain in a nutshell. Now go forth and spread the word. Or don't. It's a free internet. Mostly. Just kidding, the NSA is probably listening. But seriously, blockchain is pretty cool. Think about it.